A 205 GTI. I mean, this looks awesome, dude. I really actually like it a lot. Yeah, I dig this for sure. So this was kind of like an older era. They haven't really replicated this in modern cars, right? This thing is awesome. I imagine it's got an amazing driving feel, and like the steering and everything, the transmission, I bet it feels so direct. And remember, these cars are light. So unlike, right, American cars, you don't need a huge, 5-liter engine, and you don't need 600 horsepower. No. These things with 115 horsepower would, make you go, because they're just, if you got good gearing and these things are light, they're going to go fast, actually. And they're going to handle amazing. Yeah, I totally would love to drive one of those. That's awesome. What is this thing? Vauxhall Astra GTE. Okay, now I do tend to like weird and quirky cars. This is a weird looking car, which is kind of why I think I like it. The first one looked better. This does not look as good, but I kind of like it. The front's not bad. The rear's a little weird. I mean, I like the exhaust and the spoiler. Like, they're there, but they're not too over the top. It's a little weird. Like, the taillights almost seem too small for the design. So it's got kind of all this real estate here that makes it look a little bizarre. But I do like it. It's got quite a bit more power. Love the seats. Love that all these are pretty much going to be manuals, I imagine. So this was outshined by the Escort in sales, which is probably not a surprise, because I do know of that. That's pretty legendary nameplate. Yeah, I don't know anything about this, and I am like 99% sure they did not sell this in the US. But that's pretty cool. Here's of course the Almighty Escort. Damn, these are so cool. Of course, from rally videos, I know that these are still very relevant even today. And these are just legends. I mean, look at them. They look good. I bet these are a joy and a half to drive. And you can do so much with these. It's just a great platform, I think. I mean, yeah, look at the look. This is the best looking one so far. Look at this thing. That is a badass car, dude. Wow. Yeah, I totally dig this. Oh my god, that is such a good looking car. Fuel injection arrived in 82. Oh yeah, so obviously older ones were carbureted. Damn, I feel like it's a car that just looks good in any color too. That is just like a legendary car for a reason. Like, you can see why. Oh, this thing is awesome. What the hell is this? A Renault 5 Turbo? Dude, if this doesn't scream like weird 80s hatch, I don't know what does. This This is freaking crazy. Look at these wheel arches. Look at how fat this is back here. It comes way out and it's got vents. What? I think I've seen this car, not in real life, but I've seen it somewhere, right? Maybe in movies or video games or something, but I just never knew what it was. This thing is wild. It's kind of like ridiculous in the best way. The 5 Turbo featured a mid-mounted, basically round up 1.4 liter turbocharged engine. This is a hatchback with a rear engine? Or mid-engine, I'm sorry. Mid-engine, but that's crazy. I've never even heard of such a car like that. That is awesome, dude. I wonder what this feels like to drive, because hatchbacks generally, sporty hatchbacks are like, I think they're pretty pleasant to drive and they're pretty predictable. Now, of course, they're usually front wheel drive, and of course the engine and all that, most of the weight's up front, but they're somehow like pretty balanced, and then you know what it'll do on the limit. You know, it might barely just plow just a little bit because everything's up front, but it's usually easy to correct, and you can get them to, I guess, like to an extent, get them a little tail happy. Not like you would a rear-wheel drive car, but you can get it to swing around. This is a hatchback. It's a short wheelbase, but it's a mid-engine. So it's got to be rear-wheel drive, right? This is a weird car. I wonder, what this would be like to drive. It's got to be kind of bizarre. It might be really good. Or it might be like a heavy learning curve. I'm not really sure what to think of that. It's got a really long shifter. So that would be bizarre as well. Damn. Y'all got to tell me if you've driven one of those. I would be curious to see what that's like. Old VW Golfs, GTIs, of course. Now, this is a legendary nameplate even in the U.S. These are very famous. Of course, I know GTIs. I see them all the time. Now, I don't see old ones like this all the time. These are extremely rare and a little thin in the tooth nowadays here. But they're around. But I haven't seen one in quite a while. These 80s ones are awesome, though. I mean, I think they're iconic. I think they're really good looking. I mean, this is a good looking car. It's not like the sportiest one, but it's just got a, like, it's got a safe look. Like, it doesn't look bad. It still looks good. And, you could do a lot with this. I really like it. I would love to drive one of these sometime, too. I've never actually driven any GTIs, sadly. I've always wanted to. This is cool. Like, this one right here is actually hella nice. I would love to drive that one. I imagine these are a famous nameplate for a reason. I'm sure they're pleasant to drive. I have to say, out of all the cars on this list so far, because these are sporty, like hot hatches, this is the most, maybe you could say mature, or maybe the most understated, which there usually is some cars like that, depending on in any era, where they're actually a sporty model or top trim, but they don't really look like it. They're not, totally dressed up and sported out, right? Like, this thing still looks, to most people, probably like a normal car. But that's not a bad thing. It still looks good. Ford Fiesta XR2. Cool. I know nothing about that. Looks like this would be a lot of fun to toss around. This thing is ultra light, because I think this is probably smaller maybe than everything on the list. Because Fiestas, I think, are really small, as far as I know. I don't think we had this in the U.S. either. We might have had old Fiestas, I can't remember, but I don't think we had a sporty one. So it had a similar engine to the Escort? That's freaking awesome. I imagine this thing might have been actually really quick. But it might have, okay, so later on it had less power for emissions stuff, okay. God, it's pretty cool looking, actually. Looks like it'd be really nimble. What is this thing? A Volvo. I did not expect to see that on a list. A Volvo 360 GLT. God, I have never heard of that in my whole life. I guess I always think of like the bigger Volvo sedans and like the wagons, like the bricks or whatever is the nickname, right? Which I would love to get my hands on one of those. This is actually pretty cool. I never thought of them for classic hot hatches.